YouTube, welcome to the top 16, the Meta Weekly. Every single week, we are within the new pack meta, and I think everyone is freaking out about Lunalight right now. The big question is, do they automatically win if they get 2 Liger Dancers on the field? A lot of people are attacking at least 1 Kaiju or even a searchable one, so let's find out the best way to deal with this, or is this just the new best deck? Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Gold Leo on summon, imperm negate, they can't add, they can't trigger a graveyard effect, they also can't add a card from the grave back to the hand. They're gonna have to try to resummon it just for the add back from the grave effect. We're gonna follow up with Tenki. Chick will send by cost a Leo Dancer. Perfume Dancer will return back to Chick to resummon it back to activate again, getting double Leo Dancer in graveyard. By getting double in grave, we now play around a Bestial if you're trying to counter this deck with a Bestial banish on the activate diffuse. Let's now Perfume, reborn the Chick. Chick will further send from the deck or action deck to the graveyard. We're going to send a Gold Leo just for a fusion material. Perfume's going to discard Tenki to search our deck for the Wolf. Wolf confuses the graveyard to trigger the Cross Sheep to reborn from the grave. Let's activate banish from the grave to summon the Liger Dancer, completely unaffected by the Nibiru, which will now be tributing off the field if we want to stop the Cross Sheep from reborning. Masquerade's going to add back the Polymerization. We are not Nibiruing yet. Masquerade's going to add the Polymerization now. We can only use the graveyard with the Polymerization if we discard a card after adding. We did not discard, so this will only use the hand or field. Liger is going to wipe out the Nibiru. Now, they don't play a third Liger Dancer generally. They do not have enough room to do that. And just like that, unaffected by card effects except Lunalight cards. How do we out this? Is there a way? Can we win? And in addition to that, we have non-target wipe out all special summon monsters, not once but twice. We also have the Engrave Silverhound, which can negate any spell or trap card. And then we have Impulse, negate a special summon. Quadra Disruption plus Unstoppable Towers. Our pour into the Galatea Link 1. As we're now going to discard the Orcust Nightmare, grab the World Crown, special summon, further go into the Galatea Link 2. We're not even close to outing this. I don't know how we're going to out this. What are we supposed to do here? Dingirsu on summon can non-target send a card from the fields of the graveyard, or we can attach a banished card instead. We're going to Harpour, banish to summon from the deck, nothing as the Impulse negates. We still have the Lighthound. Keep calling her Lighthound. Silverhound. Silverhound cannot negate Crescendo. It is a counter trap. World Wand's going to banish, reborn back the Harpour as we come forth and go into a Masquerena. Now we're just going to wipe away the Masquerena. Just get it out of here. We kind of tried. I don't know. Was this called trying? Well, there you go. Double Liger wins. And Double Liger was summoned against an Impermanence and a Nibiru. What the hell? Now, we didn't even attempt to use Nibiru to try to stop them from setting up a Liger. Let's hop into game 2. Fiend, Smith, tracked, grab the Engraver. We're going to be discarding the Orcust Nightmare, thus we can't go into a Mermaid play. Would loss in response to the tracked activating to fusion summon with the hand or field. Use it up. Come forth, Lacrima. Now, the Liger Dancer by herself is not enough for lethal damage. They need 400 damage plus a Liger on an open field for game, which would be a normal summon max C. This could be pretty good. Wave King Caesar negates the effect to special summon. Now that I'm thinking of how Wave King Caesar works versus Lunalight here, does it stop the Lunalight Wolf? This is the main way to fuse. Let's read this. Spell, trap, card, or monster effect is activated that includes the effect of special summon. Detach to negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. So what do you think? Does it stop the Lunalight Wolf? No. It doesn't even stop it. What the heck? Ain't no way. We're still fusing right through a Caesar. All right. Black Sheep, search for a Poly. We could stop Poly. There's other special summons we could save it for. Perfume Reborns, if we wanted to, we could negate that. But if we think we're saving it for the Wolf, then we're going to be finding out that it doesn't even work. Ash, negate the Maxi Mate. And does everyone understand why that is? It is because it does not negate a spell and trap card effect, it negates the card. And that would be the activation of a spell and trap card, not the activation of the effect of the card. So it only stops the effect of a monster, not the effect of a spell and trap, and that's why it doesn't work. Let's reborn back the sheep. And if you read a card like Baron to Floor, that does stop all types of cards and effects, whether it is the effect of a spell and trap or not. Gold Leo searching for the Martin. Martin's going to be discarded, activating to search for the Masquerade. Masquerade's going to be able to dump a card from the deck and give us the ability to recycle our polymerization. This looks like a Little Knight play, so we're not going to even find out that the Wolf is not negatable. Banish away. Now, when Little Knight activates on someone to banish, you are guaranteed to have another turn because it says you can't attack directly, but actually the Liger Dancer is unaffected by the effect, thus it could still attack directly. If we were to summon 2, we would still have game even though we could not attack directly because we can still do. And I guess that's why we surrendered, knowing that. Orchestrated Babel. We have the normal summon Harp Horror. In response to that, we're going to max C them up. I believe that Orcust alongside Maliss are the top 2 best decks. I think Orcust is a little bit better. We have the ability, thanks to drolling ourselves, turning off the max C. This will non-target take control, non-target send a card. We can non-target send a card with Dingursa. We could banish 2 cards with the Masquerade and a Little Knight. We could negate and banish with the Orchestrated. We could also banish with the Magnum Hut. We could engrave, use the effect to get the World's Crown to the Galatea Link 1, which can negate and activate effects from the special summoned extra deck, that is. About 8 forms of disruption. Can we be 8 mates? I hope so. Negate and banish the Bonfire. 7 disruption left. Okay. We have the Habakiri into Saji searching for the rituals, what you want them to think. We already have ritual in hand, so we did the Ash check. Ritual's now going to summon our Murakumo. Murakumo is going to be non-target, wiping away the opposing field. I'm going to take control of Murakumo so it gets wiped out. I'm going to chain prayers, so we have to make sure that prayers does not summon a monster, because if it does, we're going to take control of it. So we pass. Now, can you tribute and just search and not reborn? Yeah, it's optional. You don't have to reborn even if you tribute. We're going to Masquerina. We're going to chain max freaking C. Whenever Masquerina summons into, will not be destroyable by the Murakumo. Protected through the effect of Masquerina. Let's draw for max C. Gia, your cat's going nuts. We're good. We did reborn. Now, I take your Saji, and guess what? I get the effect of Saji. Saji will activate for us if we play Mitsurugi. I don't think we do, though. But that is how that would work. Yoink, it would then activate if we have it, mate, but it gets destroyed by the Murakumo instead. So even if we did have a Mitsurugi, it wouldn't because it got destroyed by the Murakumo. Let's grab the mirror here, and let's now Murakumo trigger on a separate chain link. We are the higher chain link here to just banish it away. Say goodbye, because we're the non-turn player optional trigger to be higher to banish it. We still get to search, we don't get to summon. We're going to mirror tribute the Habakiri to reborn the Habakiri from Engrave. We need a Kusanagi to help protect. Now, this is the non-target send. Now, if you read the card, it could be a bit confusing. You see the word main phase, but we're in the battle phase because we don't care about during your own main phase. The Babel's making it activatable whenever. Send it. There we go. End the turn. And, Node's a brick. Field Spell's a brick. Star Ryzeal's a brick. These are bricks, and we couldn't use our freaking bricks. What the hell? How do we make the bricks usable? Well, ideally through our Mitsurugi cards, we're at least able to make a rank 4 Xyz to go into Duo Drive to bridge into our Ryzeal plays. Let's banish the Crescendo with the Galatea. The Link 4 can add the Crescendo back to our hand. We have World's Crown further being added from the grave back to the hand. The World Legacy triggering to summon the World Crown onto the field as a 2k attack monster, which is nuts. We now have the Enlo Gursu if we wanted to just add back the Banished Crescendo. But we have lethal damage. Symbol, Skeleton within the battle phase, reborn, and attack for game. We did go first, but, you know, even with going first, this does look like a way better deck. So you have to think that the Sirius instead could be a hand trap. It could be something like a Ghost Ogre. Ogre could have been used against the Prayers. We have Ash, negate the Saji, stop them from searching for the Mitsurugi ritual. No ritual for you. We also have Nibiru and wow, passing. We have Imperm and double Fua loss. Let's normal up the Harp Horror. Hit us with the Fua before we link this off. We are still committing. Are we going to commit to lethal damage here? What are we willing to do? Discard the Sirius. Ash is going to negate the search. Does not want him to be searching for a World's Crown to special summon. Now, if the Sirius, during the turn a Link monster effect is activated, you can target a face-up card and an opponent's card, destroy both. If this card sent to the graveyard except from the field and you control a Dark Link, you could just reborn this card. It was under the effect of Full Loss, thus not a draw. Now, to make this activatable during the opponent's turn, is it just a dead card? Only if a Link monster's effect is activated, which we don't have a way to activate a Link monster because we don't have the Babel. Now, due to how this is worded, it would work off of if the opponent's Link monster activates, but it's a pure Mitsurugi deck, so at best, wait, they don't have a single Link, not even Little Knight, so it's just not going to be activatable. Prayers, Tribute, searching for a Habakiri to trigger the Habakiri, and Graven also reborn the Saji. Habakiri search, Saji further search. They do have Super Poly, Nibiru, and Baldrake. Baldrake will also banish a monster summoned for the extra deck. Quadra Disruption. This should possibly be good enough. Let's Ritual. Baldrake, banish the Habakiri and Grave. Now, the Baldrake is not... It actually works on Ritual. Interesting. So it's not just a monster from the extra deck. It does include Ritual being summoned to then banish that Ritual. Murakumo, come forth. Murakumo activates a non-target, wipe away the opposing field. Baldrake tribute off the Galatea Link 1 to banish the Murakumo. Murakumo is going to force them to discard Nibiru if you want to banish the Murakumo. Now the Baldrake does discard to ensure it does get banished. We do lose our entire field. Super Poly is now dead. We're spent. We have nothing. Now, do we have a follow-up play? Yes, we do. The Harp Horror is going to be a big play. The Galatea is a Link, a +1. The Harp Horror is at least a +2, so we get +3 next turn. But if we could just negate the Harp Horror, then they don't have fuel to use the Galatea Link 1. It's not going to be good enough. Now, maybe we draw into an Orcust card we could discard with Super Poly to help break their field. That would be great. How about we just win in this turn, right? It's only main phase 1. There we go. Eclipse Twins is here. Node Ryzeal, send the Eclipse. You either summon Eclipse, then send it with Node, or send it with an Ice Ryzeal, or you send it from the extra deck through the effect of your X Ryzeal, which would be sending by cost, that is. Detonate, 3k to the face mate, set then pass. We have some good stuff here. We are going to be able to Imperm, negate a monster. We could pop up to 4 times here. 5 Disruption and Nibiru. 6 Disruption. Harp Horror. Wipe away the Super Poly. Can Super Poly be activatable here? No, because they had to have made the Duo Drive a different attribute just to ensure that you could not Super Poly the field. Pop it. Summon from the deck the Gursu. We're going to Detonator, pop the Gursu, and then we're also going to Imperm on the higher Chain Link. Negate, then make it leave the field. It does get negated. This fully works. Now, the Galatea Link 1 can reborn back, and then what could we really do from there? Galatea Link 1 is here. We're going to use the Eclipse to pop itself, so we're trading 1 pop for 2. Because when it now comes back, it's going to have 2 additional materials. Eclipse reborn it, and then we also have Nibiru. So we have pop, pop, and Nibiru. We get 1, then we activate to get 2. Now, if we discard the impermanence, what are we doing? Yeah, that's the correct play. Thank you. 1 and 1. Well done. Just got to see some Eclipse Twin action here. Can we play through 4 disruptions? The heck? Who plays this? He plays this. This will summon a monster from the hand? What the? Galatea Link 1, under the effect of Max C. We don't have a Droll to stop it. We're going to Imperm, negate the Galatea Link 1. This is a brick. Murakumo, no good by itself. Now, Impulse is incredible against the Mitsurugi Ritual if he's even able to use it. Now, to be fair, you maxied me, I maxi you. There we go, even duel. Sword Ryzeal searching for the X Ryzeal. This does not activate in hand, so we're going to want to maxi early if we want to draw for this special summon. There we go. On the resolution, you need to toggle on. To battle we go. Looks like we're just going to be passing. We have Ghost Bell and Nibiru, and we are fine with that. Now, from Engrave, they have multiple plays here. They could gain access to a Harporer, which is a +2. They could Reborn the Galatea, Link 1, and they could even normal summon the symbol. They could Reborn from Engrave. Is this going to be enough? Ghost Bell and Nibiru? Because they got plays for days. Send from the deck to the grave the Harporer. Harporer, summon from the deck. This is not an Ash. We can't stop that. Gursu's going to send from the deck to the grave. Gursu's going to summon a token onto each side of the field, and we could take control of the token, so it's pretty much a +2. We have the World Wand, which is going to be reborning a banished card. We're going to get ready for that Nibiru. Now, what's very important is we see this in the lingering effect window. They're locked out of non-dark monsters. If we were playing Fiendsmith, which we actually aren't, not playing Fiendsmith, this is truly pure Orcust is what it looks like. And because it's pure Orcust, that's why we have something like the Brace Bombard instead of the Fiendsmith cards. Tribute the field, at least attempt to do so. Impulse, negate, not today, mate. The Impulse was going to be used for the Ritual or for the Nibiru. Now what we have left is Ghost Spell, an interaction with the graveyard. Returning back somewhere, reborning, or trying to banish, that is when we get to Bell. And there is the Bell. Negate the effect of Galatea Link 1 to reborn back. The Galatea Link 1 could further discard to search for a World Crown, which would then be special summonable. We now have the Long Gursu, which is going to send the Sword Ryzeal to the graveyard. Get out of here. As we now symbol, reborn back the Galatea Link 1, which you try to stop us from summoning. Let's further go into the Enlil Gursu. Add back a banished card. We could keep it so we could discard, or we could return it back to take control of the token. We're going to keep it so we could discard. Discard, add the Babel, or the World Crown. Babel will make our effects quick. Now, how are we going to play through this? We do have the X Ryzeal to use the Aggregator to try to negate a card in the field, but the Crescendo will negate and banish. They don't have a discard yet. We could symbol, reborn. We don't have Dingursu. We have non-target take. We have negate and banish. With our double disruption, what else do we have? We could send from the deck. The Bombard can add. I think how do we get another card in our hand here? The token stops the X Ryzeal. So that's smart to keep the token on the field. If you special summon this, you cannot add from your deck if you control a face-up monster that's not a level rank 4 monster. So we do have to get rid of it. Now we can activate to search. We're going to chain link block the orchestrated Crescendo, and by turning off the Babel, as soon as this resolves, our effects will no longer be quick. So we're going to have to shotgun everything. Reborn, send from the deck, take control of the X Ryzeal. It's now mine. If we're taking control of the X Ryzeal, this is where things get messed up. X Ryzeal loves adding Sword Ryzeal. Well, we're not just less consistent, but now we also lose out on a combo. Our limited to 1 Sword Ryzeals in the graveyard, we don't have that great add. This can't add an Ice Ryzeal. We're gonna have to add a Node. Node is gonna be our play. Long Gursu is here, reborn back. As we send the Sirius from the deck to the graveyard, we have the Node Ryzeal instead of the Sword, which we have preferred instead. We have the Ghost Spell negating the Sirius. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you could special summon this card, but banishment leaves the field. Not today, as we special Node and we don't even reborn because we know we would get negated and banished by the Crescendo. So going into the detonator, I mean, we still have the threat of Crescendo, right? Whenever you activate this, we're gonna get banished. Set and pass. That's the best we could do. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's take Detonator. Let's try to pop you. Let's negate and banish with Crescendo. We can't even respond to that. Man, is Ryzeal a rogue deck now? What happened to Ryzeal? Should Sword have gone to 2? My prediction is Sword would go to 1 and X would stay at 2. I did not expect them to put both at 1 this early. Now, I knew it was inevitable. It was going to eventually happen. But to happen this quickly, And to then see how well, or I should say how bad Ryzeal is now doing since the hit, they really did not have that much time to shine as much as Maliss did. And Maliss is still, I believe, a tier 1 top deck. Now, how do we deal with the Liger Dancer? We could deal with the Liger Dancer through the Titanclad. Titanclad will be unaffected the turn it's summoned from a Liger. It will not get destroyed by the Raigeki effect. And then we have to make sure the materials are enough. It's times 100 of the levels used to fusion summon this. So it would have to at least be 13 levels. 13 levels would make this 38 to at least take out the Liger Dancer. Let's Polymerization, thanks to Masquerade, use the grave to summon our 1 copy of Liger Dancer, and that's it. Just 1. So if we could go into the Titanclad to be big enough to attack over, we're going to be unaffected by the effect of Little Knight trying to banish us. But, I mean, how are we going to Nibiru? We could do so within 5 summons, less than 5 summons, and simply take out the Liger Dancer. That should be our main goal. Under 5 summons, summon a Titanclad. We have Aluber, Branded Loss. Now Ash is going to stop the Branded Fusion, unfortunately, and that's going to be the real reason why we may lose. Aluber, come to me. Searching for our Branded Fusion. Let's with the Branded Lost, and now get hit by the freaking Ash. Damn. I feel like we should have tried to eat their Ash with other cards. Just try to bait it. Don't even reveal that you're playing Branded yet, right? Activate pre-prep. A lot of people negate pre-preparation, and then if they don't negate it, have them try to negate Saji, right? You got to fish for their Ash. And then, of course, try to do it within under 5 summons. Because the Mitsurugi engine can't deal with Liger Dancer. Well, we're going to try our best. Let's see what happens here. Bakiri summoned Saji. This is where they probably would have ashed. Grab the prayers. Let's now opening. And because this is not similar to other card effects that state that they're unaffected by activate effects, because it's simply unaffected by all effects, the Habakiri does not reduce it. Habakiri would otherwise be able to reduce its attack, making it much more manageable, dropping it to 3k so that a Murakumo can at least attack over it. Little Knight banishing over the Branded Opening, which protects your fusions from being destroyed. Bad we go. Let's take out that Little Knight. So being able to attack over this, so a Titanclad play, obviously gone. Our goal is to, this is one of the best things you could do, is try to protect your field with the Futsu. But if it gets wiped out by the Liger, how's that going to work? Because we have the Prayers Reborn it back after it gets wiped, but it's going to wipe it on our turn, then on their turn. Non-target, wipe the field. Prayers is going to be tributing off the Futsu, so it will trigger on a separate chain link. The Silverhound will negate the effect of Prayers, but that's not a big issue here. Futsu will activate after the Raigeki to then Reborn back and search our deck. We have a chance. We have a cope. But now Nibiru can be used. Nibiru could tribute off because we're in main phase 2, and then the Futsu was already tributed, so it's just going to stay in the graveyard. Uh-oh. Purification, come back, Reborn back. We will Nibiru, as we should. Nibiru keeps the Liger on field, is unaffected by it. Give them that token at 38. We could wipe away the token. We're going to have to Prayers Reborn from engrave our Futsu to then be used with the Purification to negate anything. Do we have a properly summoned Murakumo in graveyard? We do not. We got to try to survive. And how do we survive? Through a not 38, but 68 double attack. Wipe away the token. To battle phase, take a 68. Prayers mate, Ash negate. That's it. But I'm not searching. Too bad. Negate. Because you don't activate the effect to Reborn, you apply the effect on Resolution is why you can Ash. Otherwise, if it works like Ritual, where you activate the Reborn effect, it wouldn't be Ashable. Crazy that Lunalight gets to make use of Impulse. Now, Impulse, unless you're in the TCG, it stops your Nibiru from being activatable. But that was our turn. What the heck? Wow. You could Serenir banish the Leo Dancer to stop the Liger Dancer if it were to be in graveyard. Now, there's two ways to play around a Bestial stopping you from summoning your Liger. One would be they use their Bestial early, but they have another Bestial, so that's good. The other would be to have two Leo Dancers in graveyard before you activate Diffuse. Another way is make sure the chick on field is not negated, and it actually is essentially a Leo Dancer as part of the fusion. We are activating the Kaleido Chick effect, so they can't activate anything during the battle phase. Al Mirage is now here. Let's reborn back our Leo Dancer. Perfume's going to discard a card to search our deck. Nabir is dead, so let's get rid of that. The Sheep is going to be searching for a Polymerization. The Gold Leo, if it had not already activated, could add back the Sheep. We're going to return the Wolf back to our hand so we could reuse it again. We now have our Cross Sheep plus Polymerization. Summon to where it's pointing to. It will now trigger to reborn a monster from engrave. We have the Martin searching for the Masquerade as the chick also adds back the Polymerization, and we did not activate Cross Sheep. What? Why? What happened? Oh, Impulse. TCG play we attempted there. Let's banish the Serenir. Masquerade is here. Let's send from the deck the bird, which will reborn a Banish or Engrave Lunalight. As we now send the Leo Dancer. Gotta be careful here. This is where the Bestial will banish the single copy of the Leo Dancer, and had we just cheated with the Cross Sheep, we could have had Chick be activated more than once, thus it would not be Bestialable. This is it. Dugaris, reborn back the Chick, and then send the second Leo Dancer. And now, they are, well, we didn't do that, so it will actually be Bestialable. You have to do it. You got to. Why did we send the freaking Silver Hound? That was nothing. Had we sent a second Leo Dancer, we would have played through Bestial. This should not be stopping it, but it is. So, dude, just take that into account. Try to play around, especially if you're seeing their field light up and off and on. You gotta, like, what is it? It's gotta be something, right? Well, there you go. Now you're not summoning a Liger. We got a Saber Dancer instead. Saber Dancer cannot be targeted by card effects. 2,752. Oh my Jesus. And everything back in the field. So without a Liger, we, the Silver Hound. Let's read this card. When a spell trap, so when Branded Fusion is activated, you can banish this card and a Lunalight Fusion, negate the activation. That is a good thing. That means if we could get the Retribution engraved, we could add back the Branded Fusion to then activate it again in the same turn after its activation gets negated. And then they have Little Knight. Little Knight and an activation negate of a spell. Banish the Chick and the Aliberth. We go right for the Branded Fusion. I mean, it's public knowledge. We see it. So we can't go for Branded Fusion. We have to go for, thank you, good. You have to let them think that you have a Branded Fusion in your hand even though you don't. You gotta bait them. Branded Fusion here would just be Scoop. They're not going to negate this, right? Because the Branded Fusion is semi-limited, and we could discard. Does he know you have Retribution? He knows you're going to discard this and add back the Brand. How did he know? How did he know? He knew because it's very easy how he knew. You go back to the previous turn. Were these cards in his hand in an open game state where he could have activated or summoned them, right? They were. And then on the next turn, he had different cards that he would have used on the previous turn. So you could deduce 100% if you just remember that 2 cards in his hand, or at least 4 of them, right? He had like 5 cards he didn't activate, but then he summoned 2 Bestials, and then out of nowhere an Albert came out. So you could really know that these would not be a Branded Fusion. Thus, the only unknown factor would be the Branded Opening. So you do have to remember that. So I'd say that that wasn't just getting lucky. That was just playing smart. Well done. 2-0. Ooh, a loss in the draw. Sure. What are we gonna do here? Wait, you didn't ban the Droll. But they're not gonna Droll their own full loss, so I guess it's okay. Yes, they are. What do you mean I'm not? Yeah, I don't care that we're under full loss. Droll's better. Got him. Normal the Ice Ryzeal special summon from the deck Star. Star could set under Droll. Let's flip up the Ryzeal Cross special. Normal summon the Star, that is. Wait, what did we do? Okay, we summon, and then we're going to Detonator, pass. My brain's broken real quick. We Normaled. Okay, we normaled into Star, and then we special summoned alongside it the X Ryzeal. Okay. Yeah, special X summon aggregator. Now, we didn't send the Eclipse twins. Why not? Are we not? We are playing twins. We wanted the aggregator instead. So we do have the ability to pop 4 times and negate. That's 5 forms of disruption. Bakiri, Saji searching our deck for nothing as the cross detaches to negate. What? So Ash, anything that would just stop the Saji, that's good enough. Well done. Fiendsmith tracked, grab the Alluri. We could be ashing the Requiem play here. Reborn. If we eat the thing is, if you know they're playing Mitsurugi, you maybe don't even want to ash. We know that this could no longer turn into an Apollo that would negate the ash if we instead save this for the Mitsurugi plays. Are we gonna take the bait? Nope. We're not going to allow them to eat our ash. We hold on to it. We persevere. We don't have a way to reborn back the Murukuma. Murukuma will just force them to discard, and we have a negate with the Desiree. This is only a double disruption field. This is really bad. So bad that it's not even worth using Salesman on? That's crazy. Ice Ryzeal is going to get negated by the Desiree, and then that's it. Droll and Lockbird? Wait. No, I won't let you ban Droll, because I want you to think I have it. Well, you definitely have Droll in your hand if you're activating Murukuma with me banning Droll, so I'm going to have to discard. And now he's got nothing. Do Warrior is going to send Kage from the graveyard, which we're going to be reborning that going into the Duo Drive. Duo Drive is going to attach the Node Ryzeal. We're going to detach 2, grab the Ryzeal Cross and the Sword. As we now play the Cross, special the Sword, search for the X Ryzeal, further go into the Banshee. Banshee searching our deck for a Pyro monster, which will be the Nemesis Flag, which we're going to be possibly going into Protos. Protos declare Dark. Dark monsters will then be illegal. We're going to set a Plasma Hole from the deck here. Special summon X Ryzeal. We're going to be negating the Habakiri's attack reduction. Further drawing into another sales ban, we have Gaga Gaga Girl. Zabababa is going to special summon from the hand. We're going to reborn the Kage from the graveyard. Further go into the Light Dragon. Light Dragon can pop a monster on the field. Get destroying. Non-target destroy. As we're now going to return back to use the effect of the Desire, we're going to negate Desiree from sending the Gaga Gaga Girl to the graveyard. The Kage in graveyard is going to return the aggregator back into the extra deck, and now we're going to use the Nemesis Flag to return back the banished Kage, as we're now going to be searching for the Protos. Protos with 3 different attributes. What are those 3 attributes going to be? Fire, Earth, Water. Not water, light that is. Now we can activate to declare Dark. Wipe the field. They are now floodgated. Our own Dark monster got protected by the effect of the Light Dragon Ignister by detaching material instead. Ooh. Onomat Protos in Ryzeal. Floodgated up. 2-0. Well done. We can normal summon Almirage, then go into the backup Ignister. But we're going to have to deal with an Ash and an Impulse. Impulse, negate, and pass our turn, mate. You got me. Well done. Now, we're not able to activate Light, Earth, or Wind for the rest of this turn. We're going to Allure of Darkness, banish the White Rabbit, come back. Impulse will negate the comeback. Not today. We could follow up with a Maliss and Underground. We could YOLO the Allure of Darkness, unless we banish a March Hare to add back to the hand here. We're going to go into a Dormouse. Dormouse come forth. We have no disruption whatsoever. Chassis reborn back. Normal summon the Ash Blossom. Let's go into Link Decoder. Let's link all 3 into the White Binder. Trigger Decoder to reborn back onto the field. Banish 3 cards from the opponent's graveyard. As we're now going to, off of this, further set from the deck our GWC. The bat we go. Take out the Almirage. 300 to the face. Banish the White Binder. Reborn back the Chassis at 21. Trigger the White Binder to come back and draw a card. As we 29-21 for game. We actually needed Link Decoder for lethal. We did not have lethal without it. Damn. Ash, Bestial, Impulse, Triple, Hand Trap. Now, with the Ash negating the Allure of Darkness, we got 2 more. We're going to follow up with the Maliss and Underground, banish from the deck the Dormouse. Impulse would not be usable against a Gold Sarcophagus, but because it was the field spell, negated. And just like that, it ends our freaking turn. We have Droll, which sucks against Maliss. We have Baldrake, which also is not that good against Maliss. So with our 2 not-so-good hand traps, let's see what's good. Backup, Grad Dormouse. We're now under the effect of Droll. Banish the door, Reborn back the door, as we're now going to door, banish from the deck. Remember, we can't add from the deck for the rest of this turn. Set up the GWC. Let's link off 1 into a link decoder. Link all 3 into the Heart's Cryptor. Trigger the link decoder. We're not going to even bother Baldraking. We're going to Baldrake on the attack, making sure to not banish a Maliss, otherwise the Cryptor would have been able to banish us off the field. 300 to the face and lethal damage. Okay. Well done. Cryptor come back, 5,600 attack. Easy 2-0 victory, nice and quick. It's not the fault of Rafa, it's just really unfortunate. Damn. Thank you to both of you, and let's move on. What the Protoss is going on? We have more than one Onomat Ryzeal in the top 16 because they're turboing out Protoss. Protoss Turbo. Are they doing well because of Ryzeal? Are they doing well because of Onomat? It's probably just Protoss. If you Protoss Call Dark, you beat Mitsurugi, you beat Maliss, you beat Orcust, and I guess beyond that, they could still Fiendsmith. That's the only thing left. So it actually is a really good idea to... Protoss could only be good if you could blind call Protoss. So what I'm saying is that you blind call Dark and you're very likely going to auto win. Let's use the 7 Tachyon, return the Protoss back in the deck. We have Goblin, Badurg's going to summon for the deck, the Kage. And also Lunalight, right? Lunalight's also Dark, so that's 4 decks, 4 popular decks that you're going to clap up. And also Sky Striker too, like, damn. Call freaking Dark and you should, well, is Sky Striker gonna be that good, really? Dark, I guess they can't special summon Ray, but they're not really special summoning Ray. I guess they can't activate the effect of the Zero. Zero can't special summon Ray to then destroy a card in the field. Is that really that big of a deal? They can't Zeke? You know, it's like, it kind of has an impact against them too. Let's get to it. Let's do it. We have the Do Warrior sent from the deck to special summon Go-Go Glove Reborn as we use the Kage to further Reborn, turning these 4-body Alimbert. 4 bodies means search your deck for any spell or trap card from your deck. You would search for a Vandy Emptiness, but it's now banned. Any spell or trap. Woo! You up, mate? Harpy's Feather Storm. So we took away their ability to turn 1 Ouroboros. Ouroboros would be ripping multiple cards of their hand, and they're only able to summon the Ouroboros easily and recycle it because they are throwing up, spitting out slop level 4 monsters on the field nonstop. And there you go, they still have toxic ways to abuse endlessly special summoning onto the field. We have to get a Wind-Winged Beast on the field, which is a rank 4 Xyz. Do you realize that we have to make 4 bodies to get a Feather Storm, and then we have to make 2 more bodies to make the Winged Beast? You gotta summon 6 level 4s for this combo. Well, there it is. The Musketeer. Now, I gotta say, I'm guilty of doing this many times. I have not done it with Alimbert. I usually will thrust the Heavy Storm, the Feather Storm, to my back row, then make this. And it's usually because they drolled me. And so what does this do? It says you win. This card is only activatable if we have the Wind-Winged Beast. Until the end of this turn, negate any and all monster effects your opponent activates from anywhere. The hand, field, grave, banish, it is negated. And if you're afraid of a Kaiju, you could flip it up early. Otherwise, you could wait for them to activate a monster effect, then chain it, and then monster effects are negated for the whole turn. Not afraid of a Kaiju. We could have literally just Santa Claused him right now. Not afraid of the claws. Well, now we're going to negate the Engraver. And I'm sure Rentos does main deck a Kaiju, which could have, you know, that, as I said, tribute off of it and then would not have lost immediately. Completely floodgated for the turn. This is toxic. They are a Protoss into the freaking Featherstorm Turbo deck. Featherstorm Protoss Turbo. They floodgate you with the Featherstorm or they floodgate you with the Protoss. Two-way floodgate mate. Wow. What a nasty, dirty little deck this is. This is what it takes for Ryzeal to be viable again. Begin. Ooh, loss in our draw right away very easily. This deck could droll themselves, which further gives us resilience against the Maxi Fool Loss category and the multiple categories of what makes a deck good. Now, the inherent hand trap resilience of this deck is incredible, and Maxi and Fool Loss is supposed to keep this in check. So once we're done adding, this is the last time we're gonna not want to droll. We could droll after this on our next special summon. Dingursu, further go into the Enlil Gursu. We have both because the freaking Crescendo got banished and then add back with Enlil Gursu. Damn. Damn. Let me double check that. How did we get the Crescendo in graveyard? We activated to banish, yeah, but how to get in the graveyard? You use Gursu to send Crescendo under Droll. That's incredible. And then you banish it, then you add it back. So even though it looked like we had a choice, we didn't even have to choose. Well freaking done. Now, we have the ability to non-target take. We can negate and banish anything. We can negate 2 special summons of the Wave King Caesar. We could ding Gursu, non-target, send a card from the field to the grave. And those are going to be, that's pretty much it. 5 disruption. Onomatopoeia. I think this is a mistake. Well, no, this is the correct one. There's a card that is that you search this card, and then this is the card you want to negate because it searches for 2 cards. It's like a wishes. Send a card from your hand, add up to 2. Add 2 and send for cost. Of course, I'm going to negate you. Negate. Now, we made an oopsie, I think. We sent the Onomatopoeia to activate Onomatopoeia. And if we read this, you can only activate 1 per turn. And knowing they have Crescendo, and I would say knowing that this is a really good negate, is it hindsight or should we have kept the other copy in our hand? Discard another card, then activate the second one after the Crescendo negates the first one. Normal Sword. Oof. The normal of the Goblin Bedurg, I mean, both of these cards wanted to be normal summoned. We had the Aggregator negating the Wave King Caesar. Wave King could not negate the Ryzeal effect of special summoning. We still have non-target take, and we're gonna get taken. Let's yoink the sword, special the node, reborn Dingursu, send the node to the grave. Now, you would think that they should be done, right? The dude had to normal summon a sword, and usually normal summoning sword is a sign of desperation. But we can't normal summon the Goblin Bedurg, right? But what about this one? If you control a Zuba Gaga, you could special summon this card. We don't do that. Now what about this? Send a doo-doo from your deck to then special summon. All right, and then its level becomes 4. We got the play. Send the glove from the deck. Wave King Caesar detaches even though it's negated. Come forth, doo-doo warrior, as we have the glove engraved to reborn. As we're just continually dumping, we're gonna burn for 1200, sure. Now the Zubagaga could special summon, and then Zubagaga, I think, can special summon, the glove could special summon a monster from the hand, right? Can we summon the Goblin Bedurg? Or we summon this instead? Duo Drive. Duo Drive, get search. Oh my gosh, are we gonna win this? We're gonna win? We had 5 disruption. The Ryzeal turning off 2 disruption of the Wave King Caesar was huge. Unfreaking believable. The Gaga coat reborns in the grave. So the glove summons from the hand, the coat reborns in the graveyard. Dugaris is doubling the attack, 5,200. Okay. As we're now gonna summon the Kage. The Twins is now here. Twins will detach so that this could make up to 2 attacks in 1 turn onto bodies. The Dingursu has no material. Attack 1, attack 2, attack 3, attack 4, attack 5, attack 6, 6 attacks, 200 life left. What happened to our life? 100. And Logursu, oh crap. We have the negate. Mate, got you. Mate, nice try. Detach a material. Not enough for lethal damage. I, for some reason, thought this had 2 attacks. So just double the attack, not 2 attacks. Not enough for game. Do we have any way to burn? 100 freaking life. What the heck? Let's add from our deck Ice Ryzeal. We could special summon it by sending a card in the field to the grave. We're going to send the Eclipse Twins, and now we are surrendering. Game number 2, 2-0 victory. The toxic turn 1 Floodgate deck was able to vomit out endless level 4s to completely brute force their field, in addition to having the X Ryzeal to help deal with the Wave King Caesar. So, I mean, what could we have done, really? The Sword searching for the X to turn off the Wave King Caesar. I think that was the game-winning play. Crazy. Pure versus pure. Purely Mitsurugi versus pure Mitsurugi. Full loss in the standby phase. As we ritual summon from the hand, thus no draw for you. As we activate to search our deck twice. Now we could draw Lockbird here, but it would then also turn off our own Fua. We do. This is twice today. We've seen a player Fua loss, and then we end up drawing our own Fua loss. Let's Mitsurugi Ritual. Now, does that mean they're making a mistake? They could be fishing for a crossout designate or fishing for a call by the grave. So don't feel shame in turning off your own Fua loss. Now, off of this, what did we accomplish? We have Droll, Ash. This is a double Little Knight Banish. Do we have a properly summoned Mitsurugi? We do. The Murakumo is going to be wiping the field and forcing them to discard. It's about 6 forms of disruption. 6. Can we play through 6? Ash, negate the pre-prep. Will we finger the Ash? Yes, we will. Negate and banish. 5 more disruption. Now we're not going to be able to finger the Droll. Droll on the resolution of the pre-prep. We could chain prayers to the Droll if we want to. As the Droll now hits the field. And in response to the Droll, nothing. We just said pass. That's it. We lose. It's over. Okay. Well, we can't do anything. Yep. All right. Let's go to game 2. You Droll me, I Droll you. Huh? Ritual? Ritual. Ritual summon from the deck tributing reptile monsters from your hand or field. Not a reptile, but serpent is. So, brick. We're gonna pre-prep. Will Nibiru be good? Theoretically, Nibiru shouldn't be good against Mitsurugi because it tributes them, and then when tributed, they come back. But generally, Mitsurugi players properly tribute their own monsters preemptively, so after they have already been tributed, you then tribute them afterward. Let's add. Now we're gonna hit him with the Fua. You're attempting to summon for the deck, Fua it up. Gonna chain the Murakumo. We're gonna chain another Fua loss. Woo-wee! 1 finger, 2 Fuas. Finger both with 1 finger. Damn. Why not? Why not just like finger them both? Come on, man. How are you not double finger Fua? That's insane that we passed on that. Really? That was like the opportunity of a lifetime. Crazy. Okay. It's pretty cool that you could trick them to activate a second Fua loss to then finger both. Now, let's Mitsurugi Mirror come forth into the Futsu. Let's trigger the Engrave, searching for the Purification. Baldrake is going to be banishing away into Nibiru, tributing off the entire field here. Wipe it. Now Engrave, the Futsu, when triggered, is going to be reborning itself back and searching the deck. The Fua loss is not going to be drawing for that. As we get to add a Wusu and come back to our Futsu. We're going to tribute off Nibiru for our Wusu. And just like that, not enough for game. Sure. Set our back row, then back to you. Pre-prep to fix our broken freaking hand. Come to us, Habakiri, and our mirror. Let's Mitsurugi ritual here. Purification to negate. No summon for you, mate. Now, it's actually, opening up a Kusanagi is not good. It's a brick, but because we had the ritual get stopped, we can now add it back. Now, we do have to remember that the ritual summon from the deck effect has already been activated. Now we have to ritual summon from the hand, which is fine because we can mirror the Murakumo back onto the field. But then they could finger our Murakumo. But, what's the but? I guess we still have this though. This is fine. The Aramasa can be searching for the Murakumo, so we could summon the Murakumo from the hand actually. This is working out quite well. Come to us, Murakumo. Saji search the deck for the Magatama to pop a face-up card. And now let's ritual out from the hand. Murakumo is here. Activate to non-target wipe the opposing field. A small ruling, but I think it's obvious to a lot of people. The destruction protection does not work. If another reptile would be destroyed, destroy this instead. You cannot tribute this instead if it's also going to be destroyed at the same time. Let's go. And we're going to be fingering the Engrave Saji. Saji is not going to be able to search unless they are going to discard a card from the hand. There we go. With the discard, the finger goes through. Goodbye to the Saji. Now, with the Futsu Reborn back, the Aramasa could trigger on summon to search the deck if it were to survive the board wipe, which of course it doesn't. We're going to mirror, tribute off the Murakumo here, Reborn or summon from the hand the Habakiri, as we now engrave, Reborn back our Murakumo. Impulse, negate the prayer's effect from attempting to possibly Reborn from engrave. Not today. Now, what we're doing is by summoning a Futsu on a higher chain link in response to an effect that's reborning, it would then trigger. Murakumo comes out. After the Futsu was already out, then it just keeps on reborning from the grave. And then we would get that destruction protection of battle. If they try to take out the Futsu, tribute another monster. We're going to grab the Futsu, trigger to reborn back. This cannot declare an attack directly, but the Habakiri can at 2400 for game. Return back the mirror, chain link block the effect of a ghost spell or an ash, and just like that, lethal damage when Mobile X passed turn 1. His turn 1 hand was a full pass. He opened Fua, Nibiru, Night Sword, and a Mitsurugi Ritual, completely passed. Played into a double finger with the Fool Loss, but he chose to held onto the finger instead to try to finger something better, but there just wasn't anything better to finger. Pre-prep, Ash negates the pre-prep mates. All right. Now, off of this, we are going to, you gotta be thinking, should you be Ash in the pre-prep? Why would you not want to Ash it? Well, you would think you don't want to Ash it if they already have a Habakiri in hand, right? Well, so let's play that out. If they already have a Habakiri, they're searching for a ritual plus a mirror. And then if you're assuming they already have a ritual in their hand, which is the only reason why the Ash wouldn't be good, you then Ash negate the Habakiri, summoning Saji and Saji triggering, that's when you would Ash. But then they're left with, they have 2 rituals and a mirror, which they could mirror out the other monster, which would probably be the Murakumo that they're searching for if they already have the Habakiri, and then they pop off from there. So, you know, that's why people are just playing that out in their mind. This is only bad if they already have the ritual, then you're screwed either way. We now have the Masquerina, so our forms of disruption will be double Little Knight Banish, force them to discard, wipe away the field. We have Impulse, negate a special summon, 5 disruption. Ooh, a loss to draw off of the Masquerina, link off, and let's Pada E. Pada E, come to me, draw 2, into the Mitsurugi Ritual. Impulse, negate, that is a great play, mate, much better than Ash, because you can't even Ash the effect of them summoning from the hand. 4 disruption left. Habakiri, some for the deck. Saji, when tributed, will be trying to search the deck. It successfully will. The Futsu will be continually triggering itself. Reborn back, the Saji. as we now have the ritual back in our hand. The first ritual is supposed to be able to add back the ritual. That's why Impulse is so good against it. But in this case, we were able to just have another one. As we reborn the Saji, Habakiri triggering, Futsu endlessly reborning from the graveyard. And let's resolve this, further search our deck. Now, let's ritual again, forcing us to discard a card in order to resolve the ritual. Activate, discard the Sword Serpent Mates, come forth, Murakumo, as we non-target wipe away their field. Serpent is triggering alongside the Aramasa. We're searching and reborning the Serpent. We're also adding back the Aramasa and Grave. We have not committed to a normal summon yet. Masquerena is going to link off into a monster that will not be destroyed. Link off simply into our Dynamundo, not a little knight. Dynamundo is going to be able to shuffle a card on the field back into the deck. We could say goodbye to the Murakumo. Night Sword Serpent is here. Wipe away the field here. What? What happened? On special summon, target and a Ritual Engraved Shuffle. We said no. And then you have the additional effect of whenever you want to tribute this card, target a ritual in your grave, and add it to your hand and reborn it. But then it got goddessed. What the hell? Damn. And Goddess can now negate prayers. Woo-wee. Damn. That was crazy. That's a clap. Now, prayers and Habakiri here were not lethal damage because it has already been tributed this turn, so it would not be able to reborn back and attack for a game unless you try to cheat. So the Goddess is a form of disruption. Negate a reborn from the graveyard. We do have a properly summoned Murakumo to wipe the field and force them to discard a card. We could finger a card in grave. We could also droll them. 5 disruption. Well, there goes the Goddess with the Wuso. Prayers is going to tribute off the Habakiri. Not chaining the finger to Prayers, because Prayers is going to want to reborn back the Murakumo, right? But if you finger their Murakumo, you're also fingering yourself. Maybe that's why we don't want to finger it. Interesting. As I said, Murakumo comes out. We didn't want to finger it. Is that going to cost us the game potentially? Murakumo is going to be chain link blocked. Mirror is going to be adding itself back to the deck. We're going to Prayers tribute off the Wusu. Droll and Lockbird. Damn. Now we're going to finger. Instead of fingering the Murakumo, we are stopping the Droll. Let's discard a card to ensure that our finger goes through. Goodbye to our Fua loss. And no Droll for you. Let's now come forth and add from the deck. As we're now going to Murakumo, wipe away nothing. Let's mirror. In response to the mirror, finger. Mirror is non-targeting. Is there another monster to reborn from the graveyard? So the Murakumo getting wiped out. There is not another one to summon, even though it would be negated because of the other one getting fingered. So let's tribute off the Habakiri and summon Habakiri. Habakiri for Habakiri. Habakiri reduce the opposing Murakumo down to the same attack. The Aramasa would have protected the Murakumo from being destroyed by battle, so you may as well just go into the Aramasa. Now we have Impulse. Impulse stops Prayers. If you're a deck that can play Impulse, then damn. Impulse, so good. Didn't even, he can't, oh my god, his life points, right? Are they too low? He couldn't even, he had 600 life. He couldn't even reborn. At 600 life, it cost 800 to reborn from the grave. Now, we know he had Impulse to stop it, but he didn't know that. Damn. Well done. Yeah, 600 life. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. We'll now be advancing into the top 8 grand finale with a Floodgate deck. This deck's all about searching for Protos and the Featherstorm to completely turn off all of their monster effects. Is that enough to defeat Maliss? Let's go.